Hello, educators. I'm Tanya with Side by Side Educational Consulting, and it's time for our Quick Tip Tuesday. As we continue highlighting research, evidence-based strategies, and tips around supporting students with dyslexia, we wanted to share an extension on a previous quick tip we did earlier in the month, focused in on this term multimodal. Traditionally, the term multimodal or multisensory has been used by practitioners to describe a key aspect of intervention for students with dyslexia. This term refers to the idea that students are more likely to stay engaged, focused, and retain information when they combine spoken language with visual stimuli, such as print, and tactile activities like pencil movement. Although this is absolutely necessary for students with reading difficulties, it's also highly beneficial for the typical reader. This principle can be applied in various ways during lessons. I want to give you some examples. So if we were having students practice sound symbol correspondence, we would have them maybe look at a sound spelling card, name the card, sheep, say the sound, sh, say the spelling, sh, and then trace or write that spelling while connecting to that keyword and that sound. This process is called VAC, which stands for Visual Auditory Kinesthetic. Another example might be practicing segmenting sounds in a word, moving manipulatives into boxes when they hear the sounds, like those L-Conan sound boxes, where those manipulatives can later be replaced by letter tiles or letter magnets. Another example might be when we're thinking about letter formation. Students are beginning in that formation. They can start by tracing really large letters in a sand tray or on a textured board, and then practice writing them on paper. An additional example might be around grouping words into phrases to build sentences. You could have students work with a partner and arrange word cards on a really large surface. But incorporating touch, movement, and linking visual symbols with spoken language is essential for effective instruction. I want to show you an example of this and putting this into practice, the multimodal approach, with a spelling routine called word chaining. We're going to take a look at that now.
Today we're going to be building words using the spellings we have learned. Here are the spellings that you're going to need. Spelled H, P spelled P, I spelled I, T spelled T, S spelled S, and A spelled A. Have all of those lined up in front of you, and then we're going to build some words. First, I'll say a word and you'll repeat the word. Then we're going to say the sounds in the word. And as you say each sound, we'll pull down the spelling that represents that sound. Here's the first word that we're going to build. Sat. What word? Sat. Say the sounds in sat. As you say a sound, pull down the spelling card that represents that sound. Here we go. S. A. T. What word? Sat. Yes, sat. Very good. Now, change sat to say pat. Say the sounds in pat. P, at. Ooh, what sound changed? Yes, it was that first one. Move out the S. What are you going to pull down? The P. Good. Now say the sounds again. P, at, and blend it. Pat. All of that is just working on encoding. Now let's jockey back and work on decoding skills. So to work on decoding, I'll actually tell them what to change instead of them figuring it out themselves. So it might look something like this. Boys and girls, you have the word pat in front of you. I want you to move the A out and change it to an I. You just built a new word. Say the sounds and see if you can figure out, blend those sounds and figure out what our new word is. Here we go. P, it. What word? Pit. Yes, pit. Excellent job. Now we're going to go one more time and we're going to go back to working on encoding skills. So I'll have them determine which sound we're going to change. So boys and girls, you have the word pit in front of you. I want you to change pit to say hit. Pit to say hit. What's going to change? Let's say the sound's in hit. It. Ah, I heard it. It's right here. Change out the P for P. What are we going to change it to? Hit. Yes. H. Good. Say the sounds. It. What word? Hit.
So that was a really great example of spelling instruction using a multimodal approach that incorporates visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile. I'm going to put in our comments a series of YouTube videos on word chaining if you'd like to look at that a little bit differently. But I wanted to point out also that when we as the educator pronounce the word and students have to figure out the letter or letter combination, that is encoding or spelling. When we give them the letter or the change, students then have to decode that new word. And that is what you want to toggle back and forth between, because it's really, really beneficial for students to have both. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We'll hope to see you next week for our Quick Tip Tuesday.